Barnyard is the greatest thing in the history of anything ever. Wait, what? It's not the worst thing in the history of anything ever. Yeah, no. Alright, that's the video then. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye. Alright, I have to be honest about something. Barnyard isn't actually the greatest thing in the history of anything ever. I just want to use that title as an excuse to do my crappy I hate everything impression.
Boo this man!
However, while it isn't the greatest thing in the history of anything ever, it might be one of the weirdest things I've seen. And yes, if you're wondering, this was in fact a childhood classic of mine. I mean, I still own the DVD of this thing, and it somehow still works even after all these years. I can't even really count on one hand the amount of times I watched this when I was a kid. To like 9 or 10-year-old me, this was absolute cinema. But I recently rewatched it just out of pure curiosity to see how it holds up, and well... Woohoo! 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 Moo? Kind of goes in that category of stuff like Cool World, Osmosis Jones, B-Movie, and Flubber.
Cool mummy.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at some demises from Disney flicks that were a bit more intense than we expected.
It's that weird type of movie where it's not bad, but it's not particularly good either. But for whatever reason, I still find Barnyard to be pretty quotable and even have characters that are oddly memorable even after I rewatched it so many years later. But why is that?
Let's find out.
But before anything, I think we should talk about the guy responsible for this creation, Steve Oedekerk. Those who aren't familiar with him, he's mostly known for writing films directed by Tom Shadyac and also working with Jim Carrey on the show In Living Color, as well as films like Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, and Bruce Almighty. Some of you probably know him from the movie Kung Pao, Enter the Fist, which is the only other film besides Barnyard that Oedekerk wrote, produced, directed, and starred in.
Open your mouth!
He also was apparently attached to write and direct a canceled The Incredible Mr. Limpet remake based on the 1964 film starring Don Knotts. Warner Brothers even spent $10 million on animation test and with Jim Carrey in the title role. Oh hell yeah, I gotta see this.
Man, I can swim! I mean, I can always swim, but now I can swim. Shark. El Grande Blanco. Bum, 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 bum. Get tired of hearing that, huh?
What the fuck?
This man even got an Oscar nomination for co-writing the Jimmy Neutron movie in the first year the award was even introduced. Wait, it didn't win? That's ridiculous. I mean, who did it even lose to? But because he had some pretty sizable writing credits and the fact Bruce Almighty almost grossed $500 million worldwide, he was able to make Barnyard, leading Nickelodeon to give him a $51 million budget along with complete creative control, and what resulted was one of the strangest animated films that come out from the mid-2000s. In fact, just in 2006 alone, there were so many animated films that came out that I'm going to do a Yakko World style song to list them off.
Wait, you're gonna what?
And now, a list of 2006 animated films brought to you by The Eraserhead, The Empoli, Arthur the Invisible's Brother Bear 2, Cars, Curious George, Dougal, Everyone's Hero, Flushed Away, Happily Never After, Ice is the Meltdown, Happy Feet, The Land Before Time, 12. What the fuck? Monster House, Open Season, Over the Hedge, The Wild, and The Adventures of Brer Rabbit? Wait, so a film that's technically a spinoff of the movie that, according to Disney, doesn't exist.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
Moo?
What did you do that for? What else was I gonna do? He saw you.
But what makes Barnyard the most notable out of the movies I just mentioned? None of these Biggie Cheese in them.
She call me Mr. Bombastic.
Alright, first off, the animation is... It's not like completely terrible. I think for the universe of this movie, it's fine for what it is. If anything, the animation of the animals are actually pretty good. It's the human models that kind of makes it look a bit off. Literally all I kept thinking was most of the humans in this movie look like they're from Jimmy Neutron. I mean, it's almost like Steve Oedekerk worked on the show or something.
Well, how about next time you get a board that can handle the Neutron style?
But this car could be systematic, hydromatic, ultramatic. Why could be...
Just from watching the behind the scenes and seeing how they animated the movie, I kept thinking that this would have been much better if it was 2D animation. Honestly, if you look at a lot of the storyboards they did, the 2D style just fits better compared to the final product. Not only that, but I think the humor of this movie would have worked a little more too, which leads me into my next point, the comedy. Can't really pinpoint Oedekerk's style of humor to a T, but from the stuff I have seen of his, it's very much visual gag type of comedy with a lot of absurdism thrown in. It more so works than the stuff he's done with Jim Carrey because he's the perfect type of person to emulate that writing style on screen. In contrast with Barnyard, where it's pretty hit or miss most of the time, it's very much a throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks type of jokes, and it's like every other one is funny.
Ouch! My arm fell off.
Hey, Big. I think there's a dead bee in your nostril.
Oh. Well, it's not dead.
What a sick joke!
Likewise, the story is pretty standard stuff as well. It's just your typical slacker son who inherits his dad's position and learns by the end of the movie to take responsibility and that there's more to life than just goofing off. It's not bad, it just doesn't really do anything that interesting with it. But enough of that. Let's get into the real reason of what makes this movie interesting, the characters.
Hello? What are these characters doing here?
There's a good amount of characters in the world of Barnyard, and it might be one of the few animated films from that era where I can distinctly recall most of them. So here's my unofficial, official tier list of all the Barnyard characters from worst to best. In last place, we have Etta the Hen. I'm sorry, Etta fans. Nothing against the character, she just doesn't really do all that much in the movie. However, I do like Andie MacDowell's vocal performance, but that's about all I can say that's of note.
Look, those idiots don't even know where we live.
And there's my ride.
Next up is Daisy. Again, I think Horny Cox does an okay job voicing her, but the character doesn't do that much either. The closest thing we get is when she tells Otis her backstory of why her and Bessie had to leave their farm, and I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty sad. Next we have Duke. Again, doesn't do that much, borderline a background character. He has like a couple of funny lines, but he also weirdly sounded and acted like Norm Macdonald, which I thought was funny.
I'm the real Colonel Sanders. This is how you sell chicken. Howdy, folks. It's me, the real Colonel Sanders. I'm back to tell you about my new $20 family fill-up meal.
What the hell?
And now maybe it's somebody else.
Moving on to C tier, we have Farmer. Wait, I just realized this guy's full name is Farmer Bayer. Oh my god. Two things that are noteworthy about him. He's voiced by Fred Tatasciore, and I like the joke where he gets knocked out like 3 straight times in the scene where he sees all the animals talking.
Will you stop doing that?
Nope. Next is Bessie. Again, doesn't really do all that much besides make quips and one-liners, but she is voiced by Wanda Sykes, and any project she's in makes it worth watching. Wait, I just realized she was in 4 of the anime films I've listed that came out in 2006.
Sorry you have to see this. Fire in the hole!
Defecated.
Then we have Gopher. He's in the movie for like 2 scenes, but he's mainly in this tier because I really like Rob Paulsen as a voice actor. You know, Carl Weezer himself. Oh, sweet Jesus.
Every morning you wake up, I'll be there. Shh. Every night at dinner, I'll be there. Every birthday party, I'll be there. Every Christmas, I'll be there.
The Jersey Cows. Okay, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is like a Jersey Boys reference, I think. Or I don't know. I guess the whole joke is that they're just cows from New Jersey. Also, two of them are voiced by Bender and Alec Baldwin from Team America World Police.
Teenagers going out for a joyride. Nothing a little strip search won't cure, yeah? Is this thing still on?
You what? The hell, movie? I brought my kids to this thing.
Next up is Miles. I like how he's voiced by Danny Glover, and he's just a decent character overall. He has one of the best jokes in the entire movie where he kicks Farmer Buyer, and he also uses Wild Mike as a secret weapon in the climax against the coyotes.
I think you're lucky. Most cows only have 4 hooves, but you're gonna have an extra one right up your...
No! Quick to the slow!
And then we have Otis. Yes, basically the main character of this movie, and he's also voiced by Paul Blart himself, Kevin James. Speaking of that movie, I swear there's a scene in this involving a phone call that's nearly identical to the one in the first Paul Blart movie. It's unironically so funny once you realize it.
The purchase of human articles from the Gopher Underground is strictly prohibited.
You think I'm gonna carry the phone with me that actually contains...
She call me Mr. Bombastic, very fantastic. Touch me on me box, she says I'm Mr. Romantic.
Yellow. As a main character, he's fine. I actually really like James's vocal delivery as him, and definitely gives Otis a little more personality compared to if he was voiced by someone else. Like Liam Neeson.
Gonna take a fortnight at least to get this herd down to St. Louis on Mississippi. This glen's gonna be tough to traverse, and that river's gotta be 50, 60 meters wide, and God knows how many fathoms. To hell with parliamentary procedure. We've got to wrangle up some cattle.
Finally rounding out the C tier is Pig. Okay, this one is weird because in the movie, he isn't as prominent as I thought he was, but in the show, he's basically like one of the main characters from what I remember. He had like 2 goddamn segments dedicated to him, like Dr. Pig and that viewer mail thing he did. So while in the show he's like an A-tier character, in the movie he practically does nothing.
Who gave you the stupid idea you could eat 12-day-old pork?
He did. He's pigs! He's pigs!
I gotta restrain this one. He's on to us.
This isn't an ambulance! It's a goddamn ambulance!
Hey folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14. Dear Pig, aren't you interrupting the story at the most suspenseful part? Well, the answer is yes, Sally. Yes, I am. Keep those cards and letters coming.
Okay, B tier, we got Freddy and Peck. I'm just going to count them as one since the whole joke is that Freddy constantly tries to not eat Peck. I think I prefer Freddy more if I had to choose, mostly because the guy who voices him sounds a lot like Bobcat Goldthwait.
I'm waiting for the part of Frosty Snowman. Iceman!
Also, wait, Freddy the Ferret? What? Why does that sound familiar?
Please don't send me there. Now I know what happened to my friend Freddy the Ferret. Freddy the Ferret.
Steve Oedekerk, you got some explaining to do.
We've got to have
Freddy the Ferret.
And at the top of B tier, we have Pip. I mainly put him up this high because, yes, he's really funny, but also he's voiced by Sheen from the hit show Planet Sheen. So according to the official Barnyard lore, there's an episode of the show where some of the characters appear in a dream sequence.
So that means that I'm actually...
Mr. Bombastic.
Alright, now we're getting to the classic characters. First in A tier, we have none other than Biggie Cheese. Pretty self-explanatory. I mean, yeah, he's only in one scene of the movie, and his voice is just an archival recording of a Shaggy song. But I don't know, something about him just makes his character iconic in a way. Also, think about it. If every animated movie had Biggie Cheese in them, they'd be instant classics.
WCW, NWO Revenge, classic, 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 classic. What are you talking about? Classic, 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 classic.
Nora and Randall Beatty. Again, like with Freddy and Peck, I'm just going to count these two as one character. Randall is more up this high because he has some of the funniest lines in the movie.
Randall, there is a cow outside.
There's a cow farm. You're gonna find cows outside. No, cows don't like houses much. They prefer it out in the meadow. where they can get a graze on.
Nora, on the other hand, is funny because she has the running gag of how she's convinced the cows are just out and about doing human stuff. Also, much like Pig, Nora's a lot more prominent in the show, I think, compared to the movie. But she's definitely still good in the ladder to be up this high on the list.
I'm not crazy. I know he swapped those numbers. I knew it was 1216. One after Magna Carta, as if I could ever make such a mistake. Never. Never. I just couldn't prove it. He covered his tracks. He got that idiot at the copy shop to lie for him.
You're gonna find cows outside.
And at the top of A tier is Dag. Okay, so for some reason I have this weird Mandela effect memory that I thought Dag was voiced by Steve Buscemi. But no, he's actually voiced by goddamn Todd Packer from The Office. Although in all seriousness, David Koechner genuinely gives a really good vocal performance as him. But yeah, no, this just seems like a character Steve Buscemi would play. I guess he was just too busy being in Charlotte's Web that also came out the same year as this. Wait, what book is Farmer Buyer reading again? Oh, god damn it.
Not again.
You're a meaner. Meaner's gotta eat too.
Whoa, just take it easy, man.
Now it's time for the top 3 Barnyard characters.
Oh, yeah.
Third place is Snotty Boy. Again, not in it that much from what I remember upon rewatching it, but he has one of the most iconic lines in the movie, so I think by default that puts him in S tier.
That's called cow tipping.
He ruined my dream journal! I did not! Mr. Electric, send him to the principal's office and have him expelled!
Also, I know everyone's made this joke already, but seriously, this man looks so much like Titan from Megamind, it's not even a joke at this point. It might actually be canon to his backstory if you really think about it.
What's your name, new hero?
It's Titan.
Thank you. Thank you. Titan has freed us.
Oh, I wouldn't say free. More like under new management.
Second place is Ben. I mean, it's already badass enough that he's voiced by Sam Elliott, but his performance, much like David Koechner's, is also really good as well. Almost too good. I mean, come on, Sam. What do you think this is, The Big Lebowski?
The dude abides.
But Ben's character also brings with it my other issue with this movie, which is that there's a surprising amount of serious emotional bits in here. I mean, Ben's death is literally the best scene in the entire film, and it's followed up by a goddamn tennis ball joke with Duke. Anyways, even though Ben isn't in the movie that long, Sam Elliott's performance makes the character a lot more memorable, much like Kevin James with Otis. Also, how can anyone forget? He sings that iconic rendition of I Won't Back Down.
You can stand me up at the gates of
Hell! Stop! You have to go through me first.
And in first place, you already know who it is.
Wild Mike, Wild Mike, Wild Mike, Wild Mike, Wild Mike, Wild Mike.
Some of it's ironic, some of it's unironic, but I have no idea why I'm drawn to this character so much. Part of it is that his standout scene is also one of the best in the entire movie, and his origin is basically unknown to my knowledge. Also, his design looks like a mix between the long-haired Oompa Loompa from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Captain Caveman. I mean, he's a complete mystery, but that's what makes him so interesting. I guess that's what makes him Wild Mike.
What are you talking about? Oh, have you not heard? It was my understanding that everyone had heard. Heard what?
Brian, don't!
And that's my official tier list of all the Barnyard characters. But all that being said, what kind of legacy did Barnyard leave behind? The movie officially released on August 4th, 2006, and was technically a box office success at the time, even if it didn't perform as well compared to another movie that involved farm animals. With it grossing nearly $120 million worldwide off a $51 million budget, it also received mostly negative reviews from critics, some of which are downright hilarious, like Kyle Smith from the New York Post, who gave the movie a 1.5 out of 4 and said in his review, quote, "If you want to punish your kids, send them to bed without dinner. If you want to disturb, frighten, and depress them while making sure they fail biology, take them to the animated feature Barnyard." Yes, Mr. Smith, if I may, are you sure you weren't talking about this?
Turn it off. Turn it up!
Likewise, as I mentioned before, this was pretty successful enough to where it spawned a sequel TV series, Back at the Barnyard, which ran for 2 seasons and 52 episodes over the course of 4 years. I remember watching bits and pieces of this show when I was a kid, but I honestly don't recall a whole lot besides the Dr. Pig segments. As soon as I heard there was no Kevin James or Sam Elliott, I got the hell out of there.
No, kids, please. It's good that you want to explode me, real good. But look at it from my point of view.
Also, yes, there was a licensed video game based on the movie as well. Unfortunately, I did not play it, mostly because I had no idea it even existed whenever it came out. But trust me, as someone who used to play movie/TV show to video game adaptations obsessively, I would have begged my parents to buy me this game in a heartbeat. There was also a game based on a TV show called Back at the Barnyard Slot Bucket Games for the DS. That's too much Barnyard video game content. We already have the definitive version right here.
Well, this game's going down in history.
As for Steve Oedekerk, he kind of just faded into obscurity after the movie came out. I mean, obviously he created and starred in the sequel show and made this thing, but movie-wise, he wrote the spin-off film Evan Almighty, which infamously was the most expensive comedy movie ever made at the time of its release in 2007, with a budget of $175 million? What the fuck?
Sweet monkey pee-pee sauce!
Of course, it didn't even make any of that back, but that's okay. Maybe the next thing he works on won't be so bad. I mean, the odds of it having a nearly identical budget and underperforming financially is basically impossible.
I had a nickel for every time I was doomed by a puppet. I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
On top of that, his company Own Entertainment as well as his animation division both became defunct in 2013 after the subsequent failure of Planet Sheen. Since then, he hasn't really done anything of note that I've researched. Most he did was additional literary material for Ricky Sinicki, which came out in 2024. But if you actually look at the production notes, he only wrote the spec script for it with Jeffrey Bichelle in 2013 when Jim Carrey was originally signed on to star in it. Obviously, that never materialized, so it instead became a Fairley Brothers movie. Dear Christ, these goddamn bastards always have to ruin everything they touch. This should have been Steve's big break, and instead we got one of the people responsible for directing movie 43.
And there's spaces between each of the words.
Is this it?
Yes.
It has 1 view and it says it was uploaded at 6 a.m. this morning.
Have you seen it? It's hilarious.
Okay.
1, 2.
Will you poop on me?
What?
Will you poop on me?
What are you?
What is this, Reggie?
But yeah, it kind of sucks because from interviews and behind the scenes stuff I've seen, he seems like a really chill and funny guy. So Steve, if you're watching this somehow, I have to know. Is Barnyard canon to the Jimmy Neutron universe? Please, I have to know.
You know how much I sacrificed?
As for the movie itself, it's been almost 20 years since it originally came out in 2006, and honestly, the fact people still talk about Barnyard to this very day, I think speaks for itself. Sure, the animation looks like something out of Garfield Gets Real.
Somebody ring the dingster!
But honestly, the amount of stuff I constantly quote from it, as well as just the memorable characters, is quite poetic in a way. And to me, that's what Barnyard's legacy will be. But seriously, why does Snotty Boy look so much like Titan?
They call me Mr. Bombastic.
He said it! He said it!